So I used to be more on the social side, and studying was second or third to me. And at the moment that I put study first and focused on it, then it went well. So I would say focus, yes, put the priorities straight, but also have fun. And I would say to treat the university and the library like a gym. Just go and do something and lift those book weights.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Familiar by Fam. Familiar is Fam's very own audio and video outlet, which you will be able to find on platforms including YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and way more. As you are already familiar, we like to unravel topics such as diversity, inclusivity, and student life. The school year has just started, and we wanted to give you advice from some of our fellow students and university alumni. And in this episode, we will share some of our wisdom with you and give you practical advice about student life and studying at university. So let's start with introducing our guests. Let's start with Mengalvio. Welcome.
Thank you. So my name is Mengalvio. I'm 30 years old. I live in Amsterdam. And I study law. I specialize in technology law, and I'm in my last year, so I'm writing my thesis, finishing it up. And I was born in Suriname. I was 1.5 when I came here with my parents. And I actually like living in the Netherlands, and I like studying at VU.
Very nice. Okay, welcome. And hey, Karyn, how are you?
I'm good, and my name is Karyn, and I'm 19, and this is my second year, and I'm doing communication science, and I'm originally from Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, Berk.
Yes, hello, my name is Berk, I'm 21 years old, I'm on my last year of biomedical sciences, I'm from Cyprus, and so I'm an international student.
Oh, very nice. Welcome. So, I am Madiha. I'm the host for today. I am 23 years old. I just graduated my master's in marketing, also at the VU, and I am here to lead this conversation with you guys. So, let's start. We all know how intimidating it can be to start at university as a first-year student, or honestly, at any year. So what are some challenges you have faced during your university? Can someone elaborate on that?
Well, because university is very free, you got a lot of your time.
Exactly.
So I guess time management is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline. So I think that adds to what Karyn says. Like, you need to build discipline and keep it up. That's very difficult.
For me, I think it was more like adjusting to the Dutch education system because it's so different from most of the world, I guess, from the rest of the world. And when you come to the Netherlands, especially with the binding study advice and all that, it just comes at you at once, and it takes time to adjust to that.
Yeah, exactly. Because is it very different here and in Cyprus?
Yeah, I would say it's so, like, I didn't even know what I was doing until like in the second semester, so yeah, it's quite different, I would say, especially the BSA rule. That's just something that you need to adjust yourself to, and passing the courses that you have to as a first year student, that was a lot of struggle for me. So
but eventually you made it.
Yeah, here I am. My last year.
Very good. So do you guys have any interesting tips for other students who are starting at university or who are already studying?
I guess you gotta find the balance and get your priorities structured.
Yeah, exactly. So also having your social life, but also doing enough for school. Mengalvio, how did you manage to?
Like, first, I was not focused at all. So it's very nice, like, you enter a new arena, people, like-minded people, smart people, meet people also from that are very different. So I used to be more on the social side, and studying was second or third to me. And at the moment that I put study first and focused on it, then it went well. So I would say focus, yes, put the priorities straight, but also have fun. And I would say to treat the university and the library like a gym. Just go and do something and lift those book weights.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. And how did you guys manage to get like more social life at uni? How did you guys get to know new people, get to know friends, do social activities?
Well, it's hard in a way because that's just my personality. But the trick that I always do is like when you socialize with people, just see yourself as your child self. Like, what if you really think like, okay, I like this person's shoes, just walk up to them and say, hey, I like your shoes. And then you just start talking to them. And that's actually how I made a lot of friends.
Exactly. Okay, good to know. And what did you do, Berk?
I think work groups are such a perfect opportunity for you to find people, friends, because you work on assignments with them, and usually that takes like 2 months maybe, or 1 month, and there you have the opportunity to get to know each other as well. But if you want to take it further, you can also join associations. Those help a lot, especially with attending the events. You get to bond with the people part of the association, and maybe even go up, like just be part of that and volunteer there to work there. So yeah, that's how I did, I guess, with the farm.
Great. Okay. Well, other than that, do you guys have any tips for people who are coming here and they want to find some student housing? Because I think some of you do live on your own, right? Berk, I think you do.
I think my experience is completely different to what you would expect this year, and because when I applied through VU. They offer accommodation for first-year students, and you can choose from their options. You just have to pay them an amount of money that I'm not really sure how much it was right now, but they kind of do the housing for you. And the only trick is that right now, since there's a housing crisis in the Netherlands, you might have to do this as soon as possible. But assuming that by the time you'll hear this, it will be a bit late, I think the best is that you go through housing websites on Facebook, or there are like websites like room.nl, and you can check houses there, accommodation. But yeah, again, it's a serious crisis and they're trying to solve it. So I wish good luck to you. I hope you can find a house.
And you, Karyn, do you have any tips?
Well, I guess also if you can find a roommate, like finding with your friends and then finding a combination together, that's one of them. And that's all I have for now, because I'm still trying to find mine too. But
Okay,
yeah,
you're
so
still trying to find yours.
yeah, so I will see how it goes. But because I have the same experience with Berk for the first year too.
Well, good luck to you too then.
Thank you.
Mengalvio, do you have anything to add?
I would say register for room.nl, or what is called now, like as soon as possible, even if you're 16. And one important thing is what I did the moment I went to live on myself. So I heard that someone had a room free for 3 months. So I just went in there. I had a duffel bag of stuff, went in there. And then I was in Amsterdam, spoke to more students, etc. I told them I'm looking for a room, and that's how I found another room. And after that, I had enough time build up to go to official studentenwoningnweb or room.nl room. And it really helps, like everyone knows a person who knows a person. That's how you find someone, but you have to speak up.
Exactly. Okay, good to know. Thank you very much, Mengalvio. Okay, now let's continue with the dreadful topic for many, exams. So have you guys faced any challenges while studying for exams, and what were they?
Well, yeah. Well, the challenges is probably how different, like what Berk say, how different the system is in here. the most useful tip that I have is literally studying with your friends. I know it's gonna be hard because I know the conversation might lead to a different topic, but studying like asking each other what the answer is, or just asking around, it will help a lot.
Did you guys also do that? Like, do you guys go to uni or like go with your friends studying, etc., to like make studying easier for exams?
Yeah, what I said. So I treat university like gym. So the same way that in the gym, at least what I do is I also talk to people. Like I ask, like, hey, are you using this machine? I would say just also talk to random students who seem like a little bit open, and that way. You just, even if you don't study the same thing, it's nice to have like your gym buddy, so your study buddy, who you just say, hey, I'm going to uni, you're going to, and you just have a lot of people you can keep each other accountable.
Okay, very good. And Berk, you?
Yeah, I agree on that. And if you don't feel comfortable coming to the university, also checking out some cafes where you can sit down, grab some coffee or tea, and study there. That's also pretty useful, though it's a bit more. You would have to pay some money, so it's just gonna be a bit expensive, more expensive than at least coming to the university. But I also use that a lot in case that I wasn't able to focus at home or at the university.
I also feel like that studying, when you like choose to go to university, like you choose your own bachelor's or your master's topic, and it's something you're interested in, right? Like it's also what you just said, like learning about the topic that you chose is interesting. Also, like in your bachelor's, in your master's, like even more in your master's when it's like more specified than in your bachelor's. That's why it could be fun, you know. So I think that's also like a good thing to say. It's not just dreadful or just hard to have to study all the time. It could also be fun, you know.
Can I ask, like, to everyone else, like, what does it make fun for you to study and be at university? Like, what gives you joy, or maybe even what do you hate the most?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for example, for me, it feels fun when I'm studying with people from other disciplines, because in that case, in a way to also revise what we're studying, we tell each other fun facts about what we're studying at that time, and then you get to learn more about other studies, even though they're not really that necessary for you or useful in most of the times. I mean, it kind of gives you some tips or even like some information that you might need in the future. Also keeps you on focus and kind of motivates you into explaining what you're studying.
Yeah.
And in that case, you get to also practice what you already written down in a notebook. And I think it's kind of like a fun way of revising what you've done already.
Yeah. And
yeah. Do you guys always like used to buy your books for studying or?
Oh no, never.
Never.
Like no, never, and I will never do it in my life, because as a student it's so absurd that you have to like pay hundreds of euros for a course that you have to study for 2 months tops. And you will never use it again, and if you want to give it back, then they will just tell you that you can only give it for like a lower amount of price, or they will not even accept it at all. I think I survived by using this websites that you can find the PDF versions of the books, and also it's kind of like practical because you don't have to carry that book all around. It's just on your computer.
For sure.
So yeah, I think it's best that you also do that, but sometimes you do need to get the book, because depends
when because that's a difficult one. Like, when do you know when to buy the book? Because
if it's an open book exam, then you know.
Okay.
But honestly, I think if it's open book, because if you're doing it on computer, it's better to have a PDF so that it's actually faster to find whatever they're asking for, because like you can just type it up. Yeah, you can just type it up, and then after that the answer will just be there.
Exactly.
So I think a PDF is way much more effective than a real book.
But that is the COVID situation. People who are coming now, it's like different, right? Because they do have the open book is really open book with the book. But I feel like with buying books, everyone makes the same mistake in the very first year, and then they start to buy everything. Like, that's what I did, and I heard from everyone that they do the same. And then afterwards, they understand, like, after the first period, you know, you don't need those books. Right?
I would recommend to, like, the first class, like, in your first class, in the first courses, do be eager, etc. But at a certain moment, don't buy the book until the first class. Then you can see like what's needed, etc. And like Google is your friend. You can find so much on Google.
It's always I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but for my studies, for example, usually the learning goals are already included in the lecture material.
Yeah.
And that's already posted on many educational platforms that you will use, that you don't have to pay for it. So usually the book that they use is just for some deeper knowledge if you want to get to know more about the topic. So you don't need to get the book at all. At the same time, they're just like forcing you and saying, yeah, you have to get that book and all that. But also there are some classes that I had and the teacher wrote the book themselves, so they're kind of like trying to make profit out of it. And usually when that happens, I feel like you have no other choice than buying the book. But it's like maximum 50 euros usually, and it's really rare. Like I only had it once or twice, so I guess it's just worth to sacrifice some money on that. But for the rest, you're fine.
And also a great tip of doing this, because I've had this before, and I had like teachers who had written their books themselves, and then we had the open book exams. Like all my open book exams were booked by books that the teachers wrote for themselves. So what I used to do is I would buy the book, use it for the exam, and then just return it. So that's also a great tip if you guys feel like it. But also you have these like websites like Stupia or Studeers Now, where you can just look up summaries and lecture notes and whatnot. And if I'm being really honest, like I've never used a book for studying, if I'm being really honest. Like always the lecture notes were enough for me. Lectures and tutorials. Okay, well, okay guys, to finish up this amazing conversation we just had, we really like to know if you guys could all give your number one advice for any other student who is listening to this. What is your best advice you can give?
So the best advice I can give from what I think is like one of the biggest mistakes that I made, don't study something that you think is fun, that you think is nice, and not something that you think I can find a job. Because what I've noticed with certain work that I do, they hire anyone who finishes their bachelor or master's, because it's important to finish something, and don't do anything because your parents want you to be like a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever. Like, F that. Just do something that's fun to you, and that way you can keep it up, and day to day you can enjoy. But the other part of it is focus, though. Have focus, because I did for a long time did not have focus. I did so many cool stuff like board year, other experience that I gained, but the study was not number one. And at the moment I put study number one, I really succeeded. I guess another tip is every excuse, study is always an excuse for everything. So whenever your parents or your work ask something of you, certain responsibilities, just say like, no, I have to study. I'm gonna study. That's it.
That's a great tip. Damn. I've actually never thought about it like that. That's an excuse I never use.
So it's basically procrastinating with the excuse of studying.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Great, exactly. And you, Karyn?
Well, probably this is also for like first years or first generation students going to university. University is hard in the reality. Like, I mean, it is hard, it is fun, it is easy. It can be anything that you went through, but you'll definitely fall back in the middle of it. And that doesn't mean that you just have to stay down, because each time you fall back, if you keep on staying down, you won't continue and everything. So what I'm saying is that once you fall back, don't be discouraged by it. More likely, just if you fall back, and that's it. And then you learn from it, and you just go on with your life. That's what I'm saying. Like don't be you can be disappointed, yes, but doesn't mean you can be disappointed all the time. Like, you just gotta keep on going. That's what, that's my tip. Yeah.
Oh, great tips. So just keep going on. Whatever happens, keep going.
Yeah,
on.
just keep going on.
And you, Berk?
I think my number one advice would be get involved at the university. There's so many things that you can do, and what I see from most of the students is that like they come to the university just to study and graduate, and they don't know what's happening within the university. And there's a whole other universe, I would say, that by just getting involved, by just being part of something, that you can get to explore those. And also it's great for your networking, for your future if you're planning on staying in the Netherlands, and also kind of like experience for you. You can just when you graduate, you can go back and remember what you've done for yourself and other students. And yeah, I mean, just get involved with anything you want from the university. But I'm very curious, what is your tip?
What's my tip?
Yeah.
I actually wanted to like build up on yours. I wanted to say just have fun. Honestly, like I feel like university is such a great time for everyone, and you should just get everything out of it. Do the studying, get smarter, but also have fun. Honestly, because it's a great time. So yeah, that's my advice.
Nice.
Can I also add like something like that came to me like while you were talking?
Sure.
So what I really want to stress is the discipline that you need, and like falling into hard times. It is gonna happen. Like studying might be lonely. Like it's gonna be lonely at certain points, 100%. So that's why just talk to your fellow students about how hard it is. Everyone's struggling. Don't be afraid to talk about it, because it's just important to share that. And the university, at least the Free University, also has nice different programs to help students who are struggling or just want to learn how to study, because it's just difficult and everyone has a different way of learning. So if you're lonely, you feel messed up, like reach out to your peers.
Yes, and that's a great advice to be ending our podcast with today. Thank you very much for listening to Familiar by Fam. Make sure to give us a follow on our Instagram at fam.students, and don't forget to sign up to become a member via vfam.nl if you aren't a member already. Stick around for more fun episodes in the near future. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Hoşça kalın.
Bye bye. Dude.